Let's focus on the Northwind Orders project. In it, we'll add a new screen. We'll call it Customer Orders. We can see it's a UI controller, so we know it has a screen. And we'll have a run method that accepts a customer ID and shows us only orders with that same customer ID. Now let's switch focus to the Northwind Customers project, where we have a screen called Show Customers View. And on that screen, we'd like to add a button that we'll call the Customer Orders. Will show us the orders for that specific customers. First, we'll try doing it like this. We'll try to say new orders.customerorder.run and send it a parameter. Now, as you can see, there's a red line behind the customer orders, and that is because the customer orders class is not visible in this context. If we try to build it, we'll get this build error that's saying that the type or namespace show order does not exist in the namespace Northwind orders. And this is because Northwind customers is only aware of classes that exist in this scope. Okay, it cannot see the implementation within the module Northwind orders. It doesn't reference it. So how do we get around that? Back to the scope of Northwind orders, we have the customer orders class, which has all the implementation and screen and let's say a lot of code around it. What we'll do from that, we'll extract an interface. And we'll call that interface iCustomerOrders, and we'll put that interface within the Northwind base project. Notice that the name of the interface is the same name of the class, just with an I before that. And also notice that even though we're in the Northwind base project, the namespace is Northwind orders, just like the one over here. Now, this piece of code is just a few lines of code. It's extremely lightweight, so we can have as many of them as we'd like in the Northwind base project. Next, we'll tell the customer orders class in the Northwind orders project to implement that interface. By announcing that we are implementing this interface by saying comma and the name of the interface, we're telling the world that we support the interface iCustomerOrders. And when doing that, .NET will verify that we have a run method that matches the run method that exists in the iCustomerOrders. Okay, if we don't have a matching run method, this code will not compile because anyone who calls the iCustomerOrders will not be able to call us since we don't have the exact run method. But by having the exact same run method, we abide to that interface. And it's important that when we are looking at the interface, it's the minimum definition of what it means to be a customer orders screen. In our case, it's just having a run method that accepts a customer ID. Great. Let's focus back on the Northwind customer code. So previously, we tried to call it using new orders.customerOrders. Now, we cannot say new iCustomerOrders because this just would not work. What we will do then, we'll replace the new with create and greater than. Notice how we're saying create greater than, the name of the interface, and lesser than or greater than. I always mix those two apart. So instead of using new, we'll be using create. Notice how the syntax is just like using cached, so it's very easy to use, it's very easy to understand, and that create method in turn calls the abstract factory class .create to actually provide it with the implementation. So the code over here shows the change that we need to do, and the code afterwards looks just like this. Create a class that implements the iCustomerOrder interface and run it using this parameter. Perfect. Now, the create method itself is in charge of giving us an interface. It will go and search and figure out how to provide us with an implementation for the iCustomerOrders class or interface, sorry. And the way it will do that, it will search for a DLL with this name and for a class with this name just without the I at the start, resulting with this one. If you want to map it to something else, there's a way to do that by running abstractFactory.map and telling where to map. Great. Let's see this in real life.